right, I want to basically welcome everybody here to UORadio's Talk Show, episode number 52, here on this Saturday on February 10th, 2007. That's right, number 52. That means we've been doing this talk show for over a year. You know, if you take all the weeks in a year, there's 52 weeks in a year. And this is talk show number 52. I just got off the phone with a very important guest a little while ago, and or should I say somebody special in the community, or I don't know if you guys remember him, but Fear from Battle Vortex. Yeah, I was just on the phone with him about 30 minutes ago, and me and him were discussing, you know, what happened to Battle Vortex, and what became of it, and you know what he's been up to and stuff like that. Also, I do have a guest here with me today who normally participates in our talk shows. You might know him as Lord Chaos from Europa. So go ahead and say hello to everybody out there, so that way they can see what the new format's like. Go ahead and say hello to everybody out there, Lord Chaos.
Hello, everybody. This is, like he said, Lord Chaos from the Europa Shard, and I'm happy to be here on this new and improved UORadio. It sounds a heck of a lot better, and I hope I sound better to the listeners.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different, because as you can probably tell, we're doing over the phone, and not so much over TeamSpeak anymore. And you know, that's the power of technology. It allows you to do new and incredible things. So just give everybody a little idea as to, you know, how quick this quality is as opposed to the TeamSpeak where we're waiting and everything. Just say hello to everybody again. Go ahead.
Hello again.
Okay, there you have it. Hello again. And so he's going to talk at the same time. We're not going to have to wait for the other person to talk. As you can see, he can talk to everybody any time. And there he is. And you know, that's the good thing about this format now. Is that it's not going to be, you know, waiting for the other one to finish up or whatever. So tell me, what kind of things have been going on in the UO community for you today, Lord Chaos, that you've been taking note of that you think is something that we need to be talking about? I know you've been wanting to talk about virtues and stuff like that for a long time now. So let's go ahead and give you the opportunity to talk about virtues. Go ahead.
Oh, well, there we go, a little surprise subject. But yes, I've been wanting to talk about virtues for a long time because that's one of my little pet peewees, and I really hope that one day the dev team can get around to fixing that, because we have one of the most fundamental parts of the UO system, which is virtues. I mean, that's everything the whole game is based on, and it's half done. And even those virtues that are in here are mostly just upkeep, stress inducing things. They don't really do anything. I mean, they don't. Well, you have them for specific purposes, but they introduce a lot of stress into the game.
Okay.
I mean,
well, let me ask you a question about that and everything. About the virtues and everything. Do you think we'll see anything change or added to the virtues or taken away from the virtues with the Ultima Online Kingdom Reborn that's coming out and everything? Do you think we'll see anything?
Well, I hope so, because UO Kingdom Reborn is supposed to be UO Reborn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to reinvent the game, and virtues is an important part. I really hope that they bring some more meaning to it, and they remove that silly upkeepness. You know, make it so that it costs when you use it, not this upkeep thing. That's I don't know anymore where people think it's funny to have upkeep on things. And so I don't see why this is good, especially UO, where you want people to be able to take breaks. You know, still paying for their accounts, but you want them to be able to take break, because it's a very, very stressing game at times. And sometimes you just want to take a break. You just want the ability to take a break. Instead you can't. I mean, me and my wife worked day in and day out to get to the final level in all virtues that were there that you couldn't get, except the one about PvP, and we worked and worked and worked. And then one day, you know, I just felt totally stressed out about the game because some changes that came in with USE, and I stopped playing. I just needed a break, needed to get away from the game. And what happened? All my virtues decayed. All that work we done, it just disappeared up in thin air.
Right.
Most of them I didn't even get to use. Like, oh, that was great. What a waste.
Yeah, and and I definitely agree with you. And it was really nice talking, like I mentioned before the show and everything, or in the very beginning of the show, is that I just got off the phone with the guy that ran Battle Vortex, which is Fear, and he, in case you was asking me before the show exactly who is Fear from Battle Vortex and everything, and if you don't, for all you people out there who do not know Fear from Battle Vortex, he is the guy who basically inspired me, first of all, and pretty much inspired the creation for UORadio. And I'm going to say, he's
the guy who got a flog.
Exactly, and and that's he's the guy who's like the founder or the father of UORadio. So that he's kind of weird because he didn't found or create UORadio, but he did set the foundation or the ideal for it. And so, just that alone and everything was really interesting. So what we're going to be doing a little bit different this time around and everything, we're actually going to be allowing people to participate in the show. We are trying to think of ways to let you guys get in on the conversation, on this phone conversation, as a matter of fact. And so if you guys by any chance have Skype and you would like to add your little input to this or whatever, give us your little Skype username over here in the IRC chat. I'm over here as MC Viceroy. You can get a hold of me and give me your Skype username, and I will add you to the conversation, or should I say I'm in here as Viceroy in the IRC. And I will add you to the conversation, let you say your piece, and then remove you from the conversation, and then we'll go on with our show. So get a hold of me, or we might try the phone numbers later down the road, where you give me your phone number and I'll call you up or whatever. I'm not sure how that one will work out. So, this is really all new and everything, because this enables us to talk like a phone conversation now, more rather than just sit and wait for the other person to finish up or whatever. But yeah, I was just talking with Fear, what can we do for him, or what can he do for us or whatever, and he's going to be doing a talk show about MMOGs all together, not just UO in particular or whatever else, but we can look forward to something maybe coming out of him in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to probably be going on with them as his co-host or something of that nature. And hopefully we can line up some special interviews with developers in the gaming community and stuff like that in the future as well. So definitely be on the lookout for that. That's going to be coming at mmogrradio.com. So, just keep it, mainstream, general, everything else. So, all right, so let's get back to UO and everything. What else has been going on in UO and everything? I know just about a week ago we had the Atlanta Town Hall meeting and stuff like that. I almost forgot because I had been in contact with Sonia Thomas and Jeremy Dahlberg as to if whether or not UORadio could possibly get an interview with the Nick Carrera. I think I'm not really sure how to say his last name. It's Correa or Carrera, something like that. I'm sure I'll find out what
I have no idea.
Yeah, see. I'm sure it'll be something like that, but his alias is Dragonhead. For all you guys, you might know him better by that name. So it's Dragonhead, and we're going to be having him over here, and hopefully in the next week or two, to where we can maybe have him on the weekend and pick his brain and stuff like that about UOKR. So So yeah. So it's just it's okay. So it's I've already been told how to pronounce it. It's Korea. So it's just spelled with a C instead of a K. So it's Nick Korea. So there we go. So yeah, we're going to be trying to get some questions together, and if you like to put in your questions or whatever, and hey, if this works out and everything, maybe we can even take call-ins, or somehow pre-screen the questions when people call in and stuff like that, and then let you guys come on air and ask the questions yourselves or something like that. That's something we're going to try to bring to you guys in the next week or two, so definitely be looking for that. And this is this is all new, so it'll be interesting to see how it all works out. What do you think about that, Lord Chaos? Do you think that's going to be a cool idea or a bad idea or what?
Well, I think it's going to be a pretty cool idea. I don't know how you're going to do the interview, but if you don't have any other way, Skype is a great idea.
Yeah, Skype.
That way you can do it anyway.
Yeah.
That way you can do it from anywhere. That's cool.
Yeah, and here, I think that, if he's doing it on the weekend, he probably isn't going to be at work, and a lot of developers I know probably don't want to give out their phone numbers or be calling up people, from their private phone numbers or whatever else. So Skype is definitely a way to preserve your privacy and still allow you to have like a little phone conversation going on and everything. So hopefully we can get him over here on Skype or get him over on the phone or something of that nature. So, like I said, if you'd like to pose your questions or whatever, we are taking questions. You can go over to our website over at UORadio.com or go over to the forums and post your questions over there. Or if you look on the front page, there's actually a little discuss this article link down there, and you can post your questions there. And I will be submitting those questions in about 2 weeks for him to basically gather some information. And, of course, we'll be putting some other questions out there that he may not have the answers to. So that's only to be expected whenever, these questions kind of come out of the blue and they really ain't got time to really research it or whatever else. So
I want to interject something here.
Sure.
Darkscribe looks like the guy that plays Quark the Ferengi on Star Trek. He really does. It's uncanny. I was like, what the hell is it? That's that Ferengi guy.
Yeah, the Ferengi. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the one that's all about the money. Well, he is the marketing guy, so I mean, I can't argue with you too much. I mean, that's what Ferengis were good for. Yeah. Well, we all know who our little Trekkie fan is here. Yeah, definitely our Star Trek fan. All right. So tell me, what else is going on in your community that you know of, Lord Chaos?
Well, other than all the UOKR and the Stygian Abyss expansions, well, we can't go into those again like we did last week, of course. But other than that, the only big conversation I know about is the one about changing how houses work to move to a new kind of model, which I completely agree with, actually.
Oh, see, that's actually a pretty good thing that you brought up and everything, because I remember being over in TeamSpeak and speaking to one of the people here at the UORadio staff, and I said, what would be really cool is if we could just have basements in our houses. And I said, really, basements is already in the game, if you really think about it, because if you go over to the West Bank over there, and it's over there by the jewelry shop over there by the West Bank, and that little shop that's right above, the West Bank. It's more to the, I would say northeast at the West Bank. It's just a few steps away from the West Bank, and it does have a basement. You can go down there. I mean, there's many different basements in the game in these cities and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking, it would be really cool if we could have a basement in UO or something like that.
Yeah, that would.
I mean,
but you would have a little problem of houses are dynamic objects while the terrain is static objects, and when you have those overlap, you can't have. That's why houses can't just remove the things around them, because they're static. They're like hard-coded into the server. Right. So even if you made a house with a basement, it would just go right into the dirt. And you'd be running around down in the dirt. It would look like you were swimming around in the dirt. It would look kind of funny.
Yeah, well, you'd just be swimming around in some quicksand right there. That's I've done that a few times in real life, haven't you?
Yeah.
But that is a very see, that's something I hadn't thought about because I haven't been looking at it from the server side. Yeah, it's the Artist Guild building. Yeah, thank you, White Wolf. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the Artist Guild.
But those houses are kind of, they're built into the server. That's why any basic server that's started up, you will have all those things there. That's built into it. All the houses there are not houses that can be moved around. Not even a GM can really move them around or do anything with them. That's why when you see these events, you will only see like flames in the house, but you won't see the house actually being destroyed. That's because the house is actually a part of the server. It's a static part of the server. You
Yeah,
can't do anything about it.
I mean, just think about if your house decayed or something like that. How would that work? If all your items in the ground, would it just pop to the top or what? I mean, it just floats to the top, kind of like
underground.
Yeah, kind of like the corpse, in quicksand. Once you drown to death in the quicksand, your corpse floats to the top at some point in time. I wonder if it would work the same way. It just eventually floats its way back up to the top.
The idea they had on the forum was actually pretty interesting because it brought back something of the old UO, which most of us have actually forgotten about.
What was that?
Remember back in the old UO, castles and houses and small and bigger houses were never about how many lockdowns and secure you had. You could have as many things as you could plop into a house back in those days. I mean, there was no limits to what you could do back then. I mean, that way it was all about, and people still wanted bigger houses because bigger houses are cooler. But nowadays it's all about who can hold the most lockdowns, who can hold the most secures.
Right.
Anyone want a castle these days? Because it has a lot of secures.
Right.
That's all about now. And the idea is to simply totally do away with limit and say, well, all houses have the same limit. Make it even so it's by the account.
Uh-huh.
That way you would remove the exploitation of grandfathered houses. That would allow people to keep their grandfathered houses, but they couldn't exploit it by having like a billion lockdowns all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on the idea of a rotating camera and everything, not being in the game with UOKR? Because I don't know about you guys, but if you ever listen to the Tokyo UO Town Hall meeting, which was recorded in Tokyo, and yeah, you might be thinking, well, how would you know anything about that? Because they're speaking Japanese and everything. Well, they did both translation in English and Japanese, so I mean, you knew what was being said just by listening to that recording.
Oh,
so
yeah, and I saw a little bit about. Well, they talked a little tiny bit about it on that recording that was put up on YouTube,
right?
Where they showed it off, and I must say, that's one of the features I'm afraid of. I have this list in my head where I have features.
A rotating camera you're afraid of?
Wait, yes I am.
Why?
Because I play a lot of other games that has isometric 3D, like Heroes 5 and so on, and
like kind of like Shadowbane or something like that.
Age of Empires and so on. But they're all games where you can move the camera around.
No. I'm not suggesting something that dramatic or whatever. I'm kind of suggesting maybe put little arrows up in the top and left, your top left-hand corner and top right-hand corner that maybe just rotates the camera 90 degrees or 25%, so that way you're seeing the other side, like looking things from, because I mean, the way it is, everything in terms of houses, face south. I think it would be kind of cool if we could have our steps facing to the east or to the north or to the west, and be able to come in from that side of the house, rather than coming in from the south.
That is a good point. If they can pull it off where it's not so confusing, then maybe. But I'm just really afraid of that feature because in other games it's always been very, very confusing. It takes a long, long time to get used to, and you're moving the camera around, and all of a sudden you kind of totally lost.
Yeah, you just lose all sense of direction and everything. Am I going north? Am I going south? Or which way am I going?
Yeah. I play a 3D more Lineage 2, as I've said many times, and even there I get confused by that sometimes. I don't know where the heck I'm facing and what the heck I'm doing. Sometimes it can get really confusing, and it's easier to do in a 3D game than it is otherwise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they can pull it off.
Well, maybe they could have a default button that resets your camera back to the normal settings.
That's a must. They need to have that, or else you're gonna get.
Yeah, so that way you can regain your bearing. Like if you're confused as to what direction you're going or how it's supposed to be or whatever, you can just reset it and it goes back to the way it's, just back to 0 degrees or whatever you want to call it. Just a default setting, and then you go from there. Because the default setting would be the way everybody knows Britannia, but if you want to be a little bit more creative, come in housing from different directions, you can just, click that little arrow, And it,
it's a great idea.
It would give player-run towns a little bit more creativity because of the fact that when you go into player-run town, you could actually face the houses inwards or something like that. But like right now, all the houses face south.
Yeah, you're right, because you would really open up for a lot of area in the which people would understand when I'm writing do not disturb. It would be really nice if that you can really use all the space inside your house when you rotate around. Then you can use those, exactly like you said, these south-facing walls, or make steps from north to south, or any other direction. It's just I can't quite see. It might be a little bit confusing for somebody coming to it. Well, you could get used to that, I guess.
Yeah, you would have. I mean, just like like for example, whenever they rolled out, I think it was Ages of Shadow and everything, they threw all these item properties in the game. I was like, hold on a minute, let me wrap my head around this. You're giving us item properties, and I'm still playing this game, even though I still haven't quite figured it all out. I'm still like, okay, 15 plus 15 is 30, plus 6 is 36, plus plus 3 is 39.
That's just
time to get out the old calculator,
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't know why they never added this. Well, actually, they are going to add that. That's one of the things I put in the cool category, and that's when they're finally going to make it so it's on your paper doll.
Oh yeah, I saw that in the video.
All the stats. Yeah, you can see you'll now be able to see all the stats on your armor, so it calculates it all together. So when you switch armors, you can see how.
Well, I mean, that's not really anything new. I've seen it done on Test Center and everything, but
yeah, they have it already on there. So I've been championing for them to implement that long time, but they never did, and I don't understand why. But now at least it's in UOKR.
Well, another thing is, here's some additional things I'd like to see, added into, or for that matter, just know more about, whether or not there's going to be the new currencies and everything. Because if you remember when Sherry the Mouse was introduced into the game and everything, all them rats was running all over Lord British's castle and everything. You had to kill them, and when you killed them, you would sometimes get, copper, silver, and gold for loot. So, I mean, I'm kind of wondering, are we going to have a new form of currency with UOKR or what? Because that was not at all mentioned at the Atlanta Town Hall, Georgia.
Honestly, I do believe they actually addressed that a long while back.
Okay.
That event didn't mean that they were going to switch to a new currency.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where they would neither confirm nor deny. It was more.
Oh, I thought they actually confirmed it.
No, I don't know if they confirmed it or not, because I think that was kind of still.
Coney actually said it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope they don't, because really having 3 different kinds of currencies is going to be incredibly confusing, and I don't see how.
Well, I mean, we already got 2. We already got 2, because you got the silver coins and you already had the gold coins. I mean, in UO, I mean,
even more coins.
Faction coins.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you would need faction coins. You need copper coins. You need silver coins. You need gold coins, and everybody would just sit there and their brains would explode.
I guess they would just call the faction coins platinum. Because I mean, if you really think about it, it's so hard to come by anyhow. Whenever you go to faction coins.
The only thing I want to see change there is change the amount of checks. We can change the amount we can have on checks, and put periods or commas in them, depending on what kind of format they want to use.
That's actually kind of scary, because remember a while back, I don't know if you remember this, but a while back, about half a year ago, I actually saw players running around with 100 million gold checks, and I was like, holy crap, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's cheating and duping.
Yeah, you do remember that, don't you?
Yeah, I remember that. That was really scary. But at some point, I must say that if they're really upgrading all of this, then they need once and for all put something in that can stop all that stupid duping, or they need to know need to know when this is going on. There needs to be some sort of tally on what the heck is being created on the server. The server there needs to be some way that they can see while, like for instance, during maintenance, that they go over with some sort of program and go over and see if there's any kind of massive increase of rare items, or if there's some kind of odd items all of a sudden. I mean, it doesn't make sense that from one day to the other, all of a sudden a server has 1 trillion more gold. That does not make sense. That doesn't happen.
Right.
That just simply does not happen. And that should immediately say, well, hey, something is wrong. And instead of this silly finding out about it much later and the damage is already half done, but at least they got a lot of trillions.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I still, you know what's weird? I don't know if you ever had these experiences where you just sometimes dream about UO. And then you wake up, and you're not sure if it's a dream or if it was actually something you witnessed. Do you ever have those moments?
Time to take your pills.
Yeah,
That's okay. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think that kind of tells you that you've been playing UO way too long when you think when you have dreams about scripters running about and everything, and then you're like, was that a dream or did I actually witness that? And you can't really tell the two apart anymore. Oh Lord, help me.
Actually, now I remember what it was that I really, really wanted to see with currency is that we will still have currency and still take currency off mobs, but do away with the whole thing about having checks and coins in the bank altogether. Have it like a personal, like a gorge bar or something that shows you how much gold in total you have. That would eliminate so many problems. One, you can't dupe it. It wouldn't be able to dupe it at all. That would be impossible. Two, you will no longer have the problems with trading too much or too little gold. You will no longer have the problem of storage because you'll be able to, it wouldn't fill up your bank box because it fills so much, which is silly. And four, it would help trading a lot. It would be easier to purchase large, big items, and have big auctions and so on really it's more the rare item. And five, it would eliminate the whole thing about insurance. Where yes, I know against insurance, but we have it.
I want to see it go.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. The sooner they get rid of that, the better.
Yeah, but now let's just say for a moment that it's going to stay there forever, and then might as well make it work right. Let's just assume that. For this suggestion. So I'm just saying that would definitely help there, or any other kind of system. You could make many kind of like upkeep systems as well, where you could pay for something.
Right, but then you have the players who are like, oh well, I'm not paying taxes. I'm not going to pay taxes to, because I already pay my monthly subscription and everything. I'm not going to pay, $1 million to have a, large keep or a castle.
No, but see that. No, not for any of that stuff.
Oh, come on. You want it.
Extra. You could have extra. No upkeep for houses. You could have other things that you could pay off. Let's say you build an aristocratic structure. Let's say you had.
Well, I mean that would be part of it, right? Taxes.
Yes, but then you would be paying stuff for that too. Many kind of different. They have many little kind of things you could do. Well,
I definitely agree with you though. Aristocratic society that definitely needs to be in the game. That's where the game needs to be. Is about aristocracy and all that.
Well, that brings me to another point. I was actually thinking about that earlier and thinking about you. Not in that way.
You were thinking of me? I hope in a good way.
Well, I was thinking about PvP actually, and it's kind of struck me that everything in PvP anywhere is about control. It doesn't matter what you're playing and what you're doing, whether you're a griefer or you're the champion spawn player, whatever. PvP is almost always exclusively about control, and it always has been. I mean, back in the old days, you'd needed a written crossroads, and people would fight over that.
Yeah.
It's all about who controls something. A random PKer is just somebody who wants to control the situation. He wants to be in control of what goes on. He wants to be the one on the top.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all it's about. And that's why bringing in more things that's controllable from the player in a PvP stand standpoint is a good thing.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course it needs to still be in a way separated so the effect on each other is minimized, but you can do that. It's like, we've talked about it before, like Lineage 2 has things like sieges and controllable clan hall, controllable areas and stuff like that, where people can really have a reason to do something. Today we have chance spawns, but I think that's too little. I think you need a little bit more than that, and it would be kind of cool that yes, you could have control over, you could write it into the story that because of UOKR and because of Stygian Abyss being discovered and so on, the Royal Britannian Guards and the nobility, and because of all the farce with the Ricardo trial, they're starting to lose control over the areas, so now the players are standing up to take, to become nobles.
There's a rebellion. Players are rising up. They're overthrowing the government.
And Felucca is already on control, really. It's not really all that control. You still have faction. You could revive faction in an even bigger sense.
That would be so great if Chaos was just to come into Trammel.
Well, to some extent, you actually would be able to do so, but then it would be some sort of a controlled guild combat. And
I just want to get in the game and kill some noobs.
Of course you do, but you can't. That's going a bit too far, and I don't think you'd ever. I know that's kind of fun, but
it made me feel good.
You can still, yeah. But you can still have noobs to kill if there's enough reason for people to want to be part of it, and there can still be like a dynamic power struggle in there if you really start giving PvPers and certain profession meaning again. I mean, you have, like, let's say you control a town, then all of a sudden you can have faction control anybody from your faction, from the guilds that control the town. You can say that, well, these and such guilds help defend the town, therefore they will be part of the guild. That will give people an incentive to help defend the town, and they will be able to craft with certain bonuses and certain things there. And then you will be able to be a thief, and you could go in and start stealing or doing things, and that will make people with the tech hidden be more interested in stealing again. And so on and so forth, and a forensic evaluation and so on, and you could have all this power struggle with, well, who went in and sabotaged our town smith?
How dare they?
Take all our armor, and so on and so forth. Well, you could use forensic evaluation. That could tell you what faction did what, and then you could say, well, hey, our guy found out that you guys started interfering with Trinsic and Scarebrave.
Yeah, you were sabotaging our defenses, huh? And we're going to come over there and kick some ass now. We're going to open up a can and whoop ass. Yeah.
See, all of a sudden you've given all of these classes a meaning without having to try and take out the systems that are now.
Yeah.
You could really expand this a lot, and you could have a limited control over the Trammel sides as well by saying, well, these actually help, defending the Trammel towns, but at the same time, that means that there's certain kind of taxes levied over each town to a certain degree or something.
Well, my whole thoughts about the faction thing and everything, it shouldn't be a coalition of guilds together or whatever. It shouldn't be more like a guild fighting for control of something, a guild. So that way your big guilds out there, there's an incentive to work together. There's huge guilds and everything, and there's benefits of having a huge guild and stuff like that. And it wouldn't be just all about, power scrolls and stuff like that. There would actually be benefits to controlling towns for your guild or whatever. Or your guild would reap some kind of benefit, from holding a town or something. And then you had
sometimes you would have mercenary guilds. You could have mercenary guilds that you sign up. Let's say you help us defend here, and you will get certain benefits out of it.
Well, I'm willing to bet you anything. The people around Europa would love a system like that. Where a guild could take over a town or something like that.
Yeah, you kind of in a limited way could with factions, but this would be in a much more warfare-like structure, and by having faction crafting,
because we already had an alliance system and everything.
You would get crafters back to towns. That's vital, because all of a sudden you would have the old UO back, as well as having the new UO. You would actually have both, the best of both worlds. You would have the crafters back in towns because it would benefit them to be there, and it would all of a sudden also give the thief viability because the thief would have a reason to go to the faction towns or the faction areas. You would have faction miners. You say that entire intrinsic areas. Well, if you mine there and you were part of the guild that took the town, well, you get a bonus. Anybody else who tries to try to mine there, they just get half of whatever you normally get, or half of what
right.
you even get in Trammel. So it's not very much. But then again, it would all of a sudden be you would want to go to mines.
I like that idea.
Then you would want to have reds going around trying to kill the miners, and you would have to defend the miners because, hey, they're your miners and they're making
right, and they're in your guild and everything. And that would also do away with the 2x rewards or whatever in Palooka and everything, because I thought that was the stupidest system, the risk versus reward system where, anybody, because let's face it, at the end of the day, Palooka is very scarce. You don't really see anybody around there, so it's easy to go over there and just set up a script and nobody even bother you, or let alone even though you're there, and just harvest 2x resources, 2 times the normal amount of resources, all freaking night long, and nobody even know about it. And and that's the thing about Palooka, but if they were to reward these guilds or whatever for controlling town, and allow those guilds who control the towns have 2x resources or whatever, then that would make it more rewarding and limit the playfield or whatever.
Or give them
more of an incentive to go to war.
Make it special resources that you don't, because I
don't know about the special resources.
Well, you would want to keep them away from going to Trammel, because the problem is that if they just all go to Trammel, then there would be kind of limited what they could do about them. But by having something, let's say there's a special kind of, let's say the Blackrock infestation is never totally defeated, but it gets defeated on the Trammel side, but the energy still infuses Palooka. So in the Palooka Mountains, all of a sudden you can get some Blackrock corrupted ores, which you can use in creating special faction armors. These are strong PvP armors, PvP weapons. These are things that are specially made for PvP. They are kind of not very useful against PvM or whatever. That's not what they're for. But they're great for making really fancy armors for combat. Guild armors, PvP armors. And you'd really see some, and that's what you need the faction crafters for, because you can only craft those in the town. Like if you control Scarabray, the Scarabray region, then you can only do it in the Scarabray Inn, the Scarabray blacksmith. That's the only place you can create those faction armors, and you'd need the Blackrock corrupted, the Blackrock infused ore to make these kind of things. And that would also kind of move away from that whole gear infested thing, because you would be able to create armors that was like specific template armors, like armor sets that were specifically geared for let's say mages or any kind of combo classes. There you will get pretty good armors without having to sit there and think about, oh my god, I have to use runics and I have to use what kind of bonuses do I have to have, sit there and get a headache.
Right.
No, you just say, well, here is, I'm gonna make, paladins, this is armors for paladins, this is perfect, I'm gonna make 20 of those for our 20 paladins, and so on.
But well, here's the thing I don't necessarily agree with, or that I had the biggest issue with, is the lack of consistency. Like, I know I've harped this one, I've talked about this one many times in many other shows, but it really comes down to, and with UOKR, they're going to be like, well, we got exciting new craftables for you guys, all you smiths out there, who just love to pound away and make armor and weapons all day long. And I'm thinking to myself in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, exactly what's so cool about it, if one iron katana is not the same as the other iron katana. There's no gauge as to what you're up against. There's no way to even gauge what you're up against before you even fight. Because back in the old days, if you saw someone with a halberd, you knew you was going to get your butt stomped if you got hit with it. It was going to hurt pretty bad, but you knew the chances of them hitting you with it was pretty slim and slow.
That's exactly what you could solve with having factions armors, because then you could make a rock paper scissors kind of argument. You would know what kind of armors would defeat. You would be able to see. You would be able to see directly. Well, that guy over there wearing that armor and that weapon, that's what he is, and that's how I'll stay away from that because he's a paladin with strong arms and I'm a mage and want to do something. And you would be able to strategically decide who to send against who. You could sit in TeamSpeak or Skype or Ventura or whatnot and say, okay, Group 5, go over there, and you control the streets of towns, and you would fight back the waves and so on.
Alpha, go! Yeah, go get him.
See, that would be extremely interesting because you could do away with the whole travel item system. They could keep that because it's cool. When you're fighting against mobs, you want bigger and flashier weapons. You want bigger and whatever. You want the Sword of Doom of mega pluses and stuff like that. You want all kind of crap like that. Can you say that on the air?
No. What word?
The CR.
I don't know. It's probably crap. Yeah, you can say crap.
Okay, all that crap.
Yeah.
And see, you could do it so that whenever you step into look at all that super gear you have, it's not more than it's not all that strong. Put strong limitations on PvP, and then let it all be about expendable. The clan armor, the faction armor, people fighting against each other with those kind of armors. And those would be, you might be able to improve it some, but you wouldn't be able, even with artifacts, you wouldn't be able to go all that far above it. And you would ask yourself, well, would you really want to expend the durability of your artifacts on all these battles? Because you would make it so that all this PvP, it would damage greatly. So after every battle, some people might need new armors, and that way the crafters always have something to do, and the miners would always have something to do. They would easily crack apart.
Right.
That way you also solve the whole problem that people say, oh my god, my item got destroyed, I spent 10 years building this thing.
I know how that goes.
This would make it expendable.
People were the same way with the vanquishing weapons. They're like, oh my god, I spent 10 million gold for this vanquishing silver weapon and now it's gone. I can't believe it. It's the end of the world or whatever. But anyways, I totally know where you're coming from. Alright, so
you would go back to the old. You would totally go back to the old system of where people were fighting in GM armors. You would just be fighting it in kind of factioned armor.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one, but yeah, it's definitely worth a good idea. But let's go ahead and move over to another topic and everything, shall we? Let's go ahead and talk about the UOHerald.com website. What do you think about it? Have you even been over there yet?
No, the only thing I can say about it, not another UO site.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, update the ones we have already. I mean, the guide on the old site hasn't been updated in quite a while.
No, I mean, basically, whenever I go over to UOHerald.com, it's basically a website with a lot of flash to it, but, like a lot of, neat graphics. I mean, it's graphically appealing, but in terms of where the links take you, it just takes you to another website. It's like, okay, well, this ain't really too much to see here, I want to know if it's a work in progress or if that's pretty much the way it's going to stay.
I know somebody's personal baby, and I can respect that, and they're trying to do something for the community. I just feel that there's so much lacking already that opening another site might be too much.
Well, let me ask you something about this. And you know what I kind of find funny, and what I can't figure out for the life of me is why on the fan site listings, where they used to list all the fan sites out there, is that they state that, the fan sites are the lifeline of UO and everything, and we really understand how important you guys are to us and everything, and yet at the same time, we're sorry, but we got to take down your websites off our website. So, I mean, what's the deal there? I mean, do you agree with that move right there? I mean, it's like they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth. You know what I mean?
That makes no sense to my.
Yeah. It doesn't.
I don't know. Somebody became a little bit too smart about it in there, I think.
But I think what it really is that somebody just didn't want to have to keep up with it anymore, so they're trying to figure out a way. Well, how do I get out of how do I get out of this to where I have less work to do, and I think, and they like, well, we really appreciate all that y'all did, but sorry, we might throw you a bone every now and then, but no links to your website anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of silly because they're defeating the whole purpose of the fan site, because the fan site is that you get exposed by, I know on Lineage 2, their community, incidentally enough,
well, they don't have any trouble keeping up with their sites. Even World of Warcraft, they don't have that much trouble keeping up with fan sites.
No, they have all the fan sites on it. They list them. Funny enough, Jeremy used to be the community coordinator on Lineage 2. That's kind of funny.
On what?
On Lineage 2.
Oh, really?
She used to be the community coordinator on there for a while. Then she moved on to Mythic, and now UO. I thought that wasn't a big secret, but I think.
Well, supposedly Jeremy also played UO all her life, and I'm not so sure about that one.
Well, she seemed like a really nice girl, so...
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not to say that not nice people and everything. I mean, hell, I could go to work somewhere and be a really nice person and not know anything about the product at all, except what I read. Which is probably about 6 months old or whatever, but really don't have a full understanding or grasp about the community or the game or anything else of that nature. And that's what seems to aggravate me the most at the end of the day, is that you get these people, who come and go, and you never see, and, that's something else I'm going to be asking in this upcoming interview, is whether or not, Nick Korea has any plans to stick around after the expansion rolls out. Because, I mean, if you look at UOML, for example, you had Cardiff, who was the lead designer for UOML. You had Shepard, who was the engineer for UOML. And all these people, you had Lady Lou and everything else. And then once UO Medane's Legacy rolled out, you never saw or heard from these people again. You never. Same thing with Niobe, for example. She was a designer. You just don't see them anymore, and they just vanished. It's like woof. They come, they go.
They went into Draconi's private little dungeon.
Oh, you did. Did you went in there, or they went in there?
Yeah, they.
Oh, they. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we never heard from him.
Oh, I wonder what he's doing to him down in them dungeons. He's probably trying to get some, UO secrets out of them. probably threatening them, say, if you don't give me a castle, on my shard, I'm gonna.
Yes, both Niobe and Lady Lou down there. He's probably something kinky.
Got the little tickling feather, He's gonna torture. Oh Lord, you got a dirty mind there, buddy. All right. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic before we get ourselves in trouble on this one.
We need to keep PG-14.
Yeah, I'm going to end up getting myself in trouble on that one.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to say something to me.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, overall, what do you think about the... overall, I like the UO Herald website, but I'm just not too set on it. It's like, okay. I'm just wanting to know more about it. I don't know how you feel about it, but apparently a lot of people don't see the point in it,
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the same thing. I don't know. It's one of those things I really don't see. I don't see, just like so many people, I don't see what we need it for necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go there. I don't think I would unless somebody linked me to it for some specific reason.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something I don't think too much about. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like some parts of UOKR. It's like
do it. Is that really needed? And is that there was more important or pressing things on the agenda?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of afraid that they aren't going to really address a lot of the issues that are in the game, especially things like item clutter. I would really like for them to see some sort of better sorting mechanism, so we can and some sort of value to items we collect. Some sort of a different way of doing a cleanup of Britannia or something like that. Somewhere where we can, because I don't know, in other games, in all other games, when you have made something or have an item, it gets a value. But in UO, an item is only valuable as long as you're using it. Once you're no longer using it, it's valueless. It's more or less, it's only what you can sell for it on a vendor, but if you're not using a vendor, then your items are valueless. I could be sitting with a powerful item, and it will have no value for me. I could sell to an NPC for 100 gold or something, and that's about it. It has no value whatsoever. And that's something that's kind of silly, because you're gathering all these things and you get them and you don't know what the heck to do with them. You get such big clutter of items and just sit there and people want to get rid of them. But you sit there, oh my god, I spent so long getting this and I was so happy about it, now I have to get rid of it. That sucks. Right, because it's valueless. Because I know, for instance, in Lineage 2, I know my items, when I've crafted something or made something, then it will have a certain value, and it will for the most part always retain that value. Even if I move on to better grade items, I can always sell that for better money, or I can even sell it to the NPC for a great amount of money or something, or get something for it, regardless of what I do. Or I can crystallize it and get crystals, and that has value, and everyone can use those. So I would like to see something that you can get something out of it, more than just a couple of ingots or 100 gold at the NPC, really.
Right.
And then give us a way to go in and let's say put in all your weapons into like a weapon rack, and then you would be able to go in and sort and say, well, I want to sort on the slayers, and that way you get an alphabetical list of all your slayer weapons, and you can say, well, okay, hey, oh yeah, I do have an air elemental slayer, because there's so many item properties, and if you can't sort them, it's such a pain in the rear. I mean, I have bags after bags of little, I have several chests with little pouches that just are for different weapons, and the problem is that many weapons will have, like, they might be dual slayers, or they might have, certain properties that are really great as well, but I can only put them in one bag. And by having some sort of sorting mechanism, I can say, well, right now I want to see what has the biggest HDR, and you could even make it so that it's like a Excel sheet where you could sort on more than one of them. So say, well, I want the weapons that has the biggest whatever damage increase and the biggest slayer or whatever, and it would show you those two sorted. That would really make it easier to select weapons instead of having this big mess you have today. Preferably go to a simpler system, but I don't think we can do that.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there anything else in UO that you would like to perhaps discuss in this show, or are we pretty much out of topics?
Well,
go ahead.
I was on a huge topic, but the one thing I wanted to talk about was the one about doing away with item secures limit on houses altogether. That's a suggestion that's up on.
Why is that?
Right. Well, because right now everything is about item rates. Everybody wants bigger plots, and why do they want it? Because of item secures. That's all they want it for. I mean, people want 18 by 18, and it ruins player towns. It ruins any kind of community feeling, because people will move away from each other, even if they like being in the area. They'll move away because they got an 18 by 18 somewhere else, or they got a castle, and they only get the castle because they want secures. They don't care about the castle themselves. And that kind of attitude, I think, is ruining the game. It's really, really bad for the game. And I would say that if you simply made it so that we can debate all the little fine finesses and so on about the system, but make it so that it's per account that has a certain amount of secures. And it doesn't matter what kind of house you have. The house is only for you deciding for aesthetic values. If you want a big fighting arena, then well, you want an 18 by 18 or bigger, if you can even have that, you know. And or you could have you could make a little player run town, and people wouldn't care about them whether or not they have a small plot or a large plot. They would care about them having a community all of a sudden, because it would no longer be this race about, oh my god, I need more secures, I don't have room for more.
Or better yet, get an expansion that you just simply purchase for the 20% extra storage space, like I did.
Yeah, but then yeah, you could do that. But
I mean, that's the only reason I bought UOMLs, just for the extra storage space. I mean, I didn't buy it for the neat playable race.
Exactly. Since that's already built into the code that your account gets a certain amount of extra secures, you could make it so that secures themselves are account based. That way, once you would solve the thing about grandfather houses, because if you had like 5 grandfather houses, you would just have 4,500 or something lockdowns or secures spread out over those houses. You could have them all in one house and then not log anything down in one house, or you could have them all spread out evenly. It's all up to you, really. It would all count against the same secure lockdown. And that way you could have people have a small tiny hut, but they would still be able to fill in all the stuff they want. And they could have a big house, but it would be for aesthetic values. It would be for because you want to live in the area, because you want to live with some people, not because you need a bigger storage or you need a bigger spot.
I just want to live in the ghetto.
Yeah, you could do that. All of a sudden, you know, many people don't want to live in an area simply because they can't fit their houses there, because they want this big plot. They want an 18 by 18. Everybody wants 18 by 18s because they don't do anything. I know myself. I had an 18 by 18 out in the middle of the desert. It's the most god-awful, boring house you will ever see. Well, it's not even a house. It's just a plot. It's just a flat plot. That's all that's it. I
think you're a scripter.
Well, no.
That's what I always think whenever I see them empty plots. I'm like, well, this is a scripter's house, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a scripter. And let me guess, you have the little box right there on your door, on your little steps too?
No, I
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Well, actually, I do have it.
Oh, see, I knew it. Got little boxes on the little doorsteps or whatever, yeah.
Well, there's legitimate uses for that one.
Yeah. That's what they all say.
Yes, it does. Well, it does, because you do not have to walk into the house, open the secure, put it in.
You ain't got no walls. I mean, you just take one extra step and you're like, okay, well, there it is, you know.
To go into the house before it loads. The chests will not load unless it's on the steps. Then you don't have to load. You can just unload it directly. That's the easiest way to do it. That's so much nicer, though. Especially because mining and so on and so forth is boring enough as it is. And fuck.
I mean, you already got a little fire beetle and everything else. I mean, what more do you need? What you need is a little fire beetle with a little pack horse on it, or whatever.
Well, yeah, I've beetles, because always when I mine someplace and I get some of the more valuable ores, it's always somewhere where it's dangerous.
Notice I don't have any sympathy.
Well, it is. You know, that's how it is. You'll need a truckload of that stuff for anything. And I'm too lazy. Well, if I was a scripter, I would be having all those neat library items, and I don't have any of those because I'm simply just too lazy to turn all of those things in. I have so much. Or well, actually, now ingots and boards and whatnot. You know, I'm just too lazy to go and turn it all in.
Yeah, you're probably too lazy to even set up a script.
No, those you can probably go download somewhere. So, print-in script.
Yeah.
Run super duper program. Go here and it'll do a lot of stuff or whatever it'll do.
Yeah.
But usually those, since those exist, they really well, we will be into another topic here, but they're really a showing of another problem. But really, back to the secures and lockdowns is the whole point was that, you know, I only have that 18 by 18 because I need the secures. And what do I have on it? It's just for a boss. That's all that's on it. And while my wife is really good at collecting bots, me sorting bots is like, I do that every now and then. I go through and sort them, but it's like,
you know what I loved is when they had them lottery boxes, you know, where you put the little prizes in there, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make 100 boxes, and you're like, wee, and then I'm gonna make 100 X's, and you're like, wee, and then, you know, throw them on a vendor and all that, and yeah, that was fun. You know all about that, right?
Yeah, those are
the little lottery boxes where, yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I don't ever see any explosive boxes anymore. I wonder why I don't see those anymore. You know, little trap boxes where when somebody peeks in it blows them up and kills them.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, those were fun.
Like, where you guys are there, why aren't you calling in? Come on. Say something.
Yeah.
At least call in and say LT sucks.
Yeah. I don't know if I want them calling in while I'm on air. Because, I mean, I could do that, and then I have everybody calling all day long, and they'd be like, quit calling me! Yes! It'd be like, it'd be like
on a show,
Yeah.
So they'll be adding it to Skype.
Oh, yeah, they need to give me their username on Skype is what they need to do if they want to get on the air, and I haven't had anybody do that, so where are you people? So, it's just a real quiet weekend. I don't know about you, but it's just one of those weeks where
I think we couldn't even get a tuner on here.
I know. What's the deal with that?
I have no idea.
You're gonna have to get over there. You're gonna have to get over there on U-Haul, carry that big old trout with you, and then slap him across the face and say, "Where were you?" Yeah. Because I mean, this was like our little debut of the new little secret little project I've been working on. I'm trying to get this new format, where we can do like a phone conversation, rather than this little walkie-talkie system like we did in the past. That's it. Now that we're talking about this, I just remembered the first talk show we did. We actually recorded them in WAV files. Oh my God, those were a nightmare. We just used to go on the TeamSpeak. We had no background music in the recordings, and we had them in WAV files, so they were pretty big, and then we convert them over to MP3 files. And those things were about 75 megabytes in size by the time we were even done with them, and that even had sound in it, mind you, and everything. And so then we started mixing in music with our shows and everything. And now then we went with the TeamSpeak with the background music. And now here we are, on the phone, with the music in, so we're gradually evolving, I would hope so after almost 2 years of doing this and everything. So let's go ahead and see what's going on over here. Arjuna's finally back. Yes, he's finally back, but he's Skype hunting. Yes, he's hunting for Skype. I don't know if he's going to make it in time, but is there anything else you want?
RC? Or you got him on ICQ?
Yeah, I got him on ICQ. He just finally responded to me. You're a little late, boy. Yeah, but anyways, let's see. Is there anything else that you want to talk about this week before we go ahead and close it up?
Well, hopefully getting a tuner on here just real quick.
Oh, he says, what Skype? He doesn't
have the first clue what Skype is. We're going to have to bring everybody up to par on Skype and all that. So, the nice thing about Skype, you can get people from international calling in, stuff like that. It's
like me.
Yeah, like you. You're over in Denmark, right?
Yeah. Yep,
see? Yeah, in Denmark. Yeah. All right, well, I guess we're just going to have to bring Arjuna on next week, and I'm so half tempted just to call somebody up and just bug them on Skype, just call them up and say hello, and they'd be like, who are you? And I'll be like, hey, I'm Viceroy, don't you know me? Because everybody knows Viceroy, right? You either love or you hate me, right? Well, maybe we can call Joshua Rowan out sometime.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we got to get his phone number or something.
Like Skype name.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. His Skype username. Yeah, we got to get all that. But anyways, let's go ahead and start wrapping up and everything. Let me just basically put out some short little announcements out here. For all you people who are just tuning in a little late and everything, we are doing a new show format and everything. We are basically testing our new sound system. And it looks like it's appearing to work out pretty well. So, I mean, what do you think about it? You think it's working out pretty well? Lord Chaos?
Oh, I thought you were talking to the listeners, huh?
No.
Yeah, I think it's really nice to be able to talk at the same time and not having to sit there and wait until the other's done.
Yeah, because this definitely makes the conversations go by a lot faster. Because, I mean, what normally would have took 2 hours to do, to talk about, is now seems to be almost reduced to an hour or so, or pretty close to that. So, I mean, anyways, let me go ahead and just put out there what all we got in the works. We have an interview in the works with Nick Correa, a.k.a. Dragonhead, and we are going to be working on getting that set up. We'll probably be having that here in the next 2 or 3 weeks here, somewhere probably in March, I'm thinking. And on top of that, we are planning for future upcoming town hall events. So we're going to be trying to broadcast those events as well for you guys. I think the earliest one we're going to be doing is probably April. So definitely be on the lookout for that in April. I think that's going to be Chicago. No, Philadelphia, I think. Yeah. So yeah, Philadelphia is going to be the earliest one that we can do, I think. And what else? I'm sure there's something else. Oh yes, we're going to be doing a new talk show in the future on the weekends. Rather than the UORadio TalkShow, it's going to be the MMOG Radio Talk Show. And what that means is we're basically going to be inviting our good old buddy from Battle Vortex, a.k.a. Fear. For all you people who remember Fear from from Battle Vortex, the Battle Vortex audio show, that was like the guy who back in 2000 was calling these people up at EA, getting the EA developers over here on the phone and speaking with them, like people like Sunsword and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, we actually got, if you want to check out some of his past interviews and stuff like that, you can go in our downloads section on the left-hand side and actually find Battle Vortex link over there in the download section and download all the past shows he has done with developers in the UO community. And I think he's going to be trying to set us up with some interviews with developers from other games and stuff like that as well. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We got a lot of great things in the works for this year. It's going to be a quite busy year, I would imagine. So, other than that, I don't think I have anything else to say, Lord Chaos. But I guess I'll go ahead and allow you to say goodbye to everybody out there. So go ahead and say goodbye or whatever.
Well, goodbye, everybody. I hope next time we go on there, you guys will have a few questions to come in with our comments or anything like that. Otherwise, it's good fun to be on here, and I hope you guys are out listening and enjoying the show.
Yeah, and if you really like this show, feel free to give us your feedback. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm probably going to kick myself in the butt, but if you like what you heard here today and everything, and you would like to comment and leave a message about it or whatever on our answering machine, we do have an answering machine that you can leave a message on. There's actually a phone number and a alternative method if you're international or whatever, you just can't afford long distance or whatever. You can either go and get Skype and add UORadio to your UORadio to your Skype and leave a voicemail through that, or you can go over to our website and actually call our call-in number. It's 817-776-5339. That is a 1 prefix for the national number. So for all you international people, it's going to be 1-817-776-5339. So yeah, give us a call, leave a message, and if we get any messages that pertain to your radio and this talk show or any other show that we've done in the past, then we will air those on the air for you guys and share those with y'all. So, anyways, I am, of course, MC Weisberg from Your Radio, and I play on the Chesapeake chart, and of course, we had Lord Chaos from Europa, and we look forward to seeing you guys all next week. So, take care, and we'll see you then. Take care.